Alright, so very good evening class. So we are going to finish off with the remaining of our Thunkable workshop. So far what we have actually done is we have created a Google spreadsheet whereby we have included some okay, let me just open my Google spreadsheet. We have included some details as to the name of the places, the URL link for the images, the description for the particular place, the latitude and the longitude. So far we have actually handled the place, image and also description by using the data viewer list. And what we have actually done so far is we have created 3 screens. So the first screen whereby you are able to view the data viewer list. So it actually captures the data from your spreadsheet and is able to display. And whenever you click any one of this, then it brings us to the info screen, right? And what we have done previously also, we have added some functionality to the next. So when we click next, it actually captures the index of the next place ID and displays that images and also the descriptions accordingly. And we have actually handled the block in such a way that if it had reached the length of the list of place IDs, then it will reset back to 1. So in this way you can see that it keeps on rotating. And what we have also done is we found that once we have actually come to this screen, info screen, there's no option for us to go home. So we have included the home button where if you click, then yes, it brings us back to the home button. And we have also included a button on the screen 1 which allows us to go to map. So of course for the map functionality, it doesn't work. You have to view it on mobile. It doesn't work on the emulator here. And what we have added here is, of course, we have added the map component as well as the home button. So just in case that when we want to move back to home, you can actually click the home button. So these are the work that we have actually done so far. Any questions that you all have? So if there's no question, let us actually click on the map screen. So under the map screen, we have included 2 components, right? The map and also the home button. And if you notice that earlier, if you view it on your phone, you by right you will be viewing. If you click on the map property, you are actually viewing San Francisco location, and that is because of this latitude and longitude. It's configured so that location is actually the Thunkable developers location place. So they actually set their hometown. So you can actually set your maps in such a way as well. So how can we actually do that? Let's assume that where you want your map to be focused at when you launch your Google map. So let's say, for example, we want it to be focused somewhere near Unit 10. So let's go to Maps. Go to Maps. So this is a Unit 10. So you can choose any point here, anywhere. So maybe let's choose here. So you can right click, and do you see you can actually copy the latitude and the longitude, right? So copy it and go to your Thunkable. You paste your latitude. Sorry, I accidentally pressed copy. Go back here, copy this one, back here, and paste. Sorry, I didn't paste, didn't copy correctly. Okay, it copied. Let me try to paste and see. Okay, so I'm going to copy the latitude and paste it here. Okay, and the same thing applies with the longitude as well. Of course, I can't preview here, So now log in on your phone, Thunkable Live. So I'm checking on mine as well. So you can actually change the zoom level. Try to put, just increase a little bit. Don't increase a lot, because whatever one increment or two increment, it has an effect of zoom a lot. So try to play around and see whether are you getting a. Do you want your maps to be zoomed out like this, or you want it to be zoomed in? So as a developer, you have your choice how you want your map zoom level to be. So somehow mine Thunkable Life is not logging in at all. So now what's this issue? Managed to get? Managed to do? What's the low zoom level that you all choose? So let me just redo this back. So what we're going to do now is we have already assigned the latitude and longitude, and we set a particular zoom level. This zoom level you have to check on your phone to see whether are you comfortable on what you're viewing. So now what we want to do is when we open the map screen, we want these three places markers to be on the map. So we are going to establish the map. So let's go to the map screen component. So we have the when map screen opens. That means when the map screen opens, we want all the markers to readily be updated. So that's why we are using this when map screen opens. So take and put it here. Now, when the map screen opens, we want to actually capture the values from the spreadsheet, right? So in order for us to actually do that, we are going to create 4 variables. Why 4 variables? Because here we have 4, right? One variable to hold the place, one variable list to hold the images, sorry, not images, place, description, latitude and longitude. We don't need the images. Why we need the place and image description is when you hover over the marker, it'll actually show the place and also the description. If you don't want the description, that's fine. You can just have the place or latitude and longitude. Or if you don't want a place and you don't want description, you just want a latitude and longitude, can. You'll just put a pin there. You won't have a name. So we need 4 list variables to hold all these 4 variables. So we are going to create variables. So we're going to initialize app variable. So just put it here. So this first app variable name that we can actually give is, we can give it as the latitude list. That means this list consists will hold all the latitude value, and we can duplicate this. We can duplicate. Remember that we need 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one will be the longitude. And this one will be the place list, and this is the description list. Wait, description, just putting a short name. So all these are variables, initializing the variables so that we can actually hold the value. So we're going to initialize this to empty list. Why list? Why is it not empty string? Why does it have to be a list? Yes, because we have few lists, right? It's not a one value thing. We have few lists. Whenever we have a latitude list, we have, like, of course in this case we have 3 list of latitudes, right? So that's why we are going to go to list and we are going to search for empty list. So initialize it as empty list. You can duplicate. So everyone managed to do this? So when the map screen opens, we have to make sure that we capture all these variables, right? We capture value into all these variables. So let's go to the set variable. So we need to have 4 of this. So we can actually name the first one, this drop down. So the first one is latitude list. Try to follow if you want, you can just follow the sequence. Longitude list. This is place list. And this is description list. Everyone okay? Now where we are going to capture this from? From our data sources, right? Because we have included the data sources. So click on data sources. We are going to look for the list of values here, this one. So use this and put it here. You can duplicate this. So what this will do, it will automatically take the entire list of whatever that we have actually described here. So make sure that later we have to change this last portion here. So where can we get the latitude list from? Of course, we are looking at the places to visit, and it's in sheet 1. And where we look at, this is latitude. This one should be longitude. Place list, this should be place, correct. This one should be description. Is it okay? Now, once we have actually captured all this list of values, now we are going to include an option for us to place the marker. Now, in order for us to place the marker, we need to perform some sort of a loop for us to make sure that we need to check what is the length of the place description or the latitude list, for example. That means how many latitude values that you have. Let's say in this case is 3. So what you want to do, you want to have an iteration where for the first list, you put the marker. Then for the second list, you put the marker. And then for the third, you put the marker. So this is under the control operation. There is this particular block. So does it have a description? So you're going to start counting. We're going to initialize an count from 1 until the maximum length of the latitude, and we're going to increase it by 1 each time. So this is like a for loop with conditional statement which allows us to loop 1 by 1. So for each latitude, longitude, you mark, and then you go to the next one in the list. Then you get the latitude and longitude of the next one, then you mark. Then you do the third one. Because this you have to pass because later on when we see the block for us to do the marker, it only allows 1 latitude, 1 longitude. So that's why we have to do the iteration process. We have to do it for each location. So we're going to take this and put it here. Now this variable I, okay, that's okay. This automatically the variable I will be defined. And this will be initialized to the starting value of 1. And it will count up to a maximum value. So what should be the maximum value that the I should count? Because in this case, you can actually count because we know we have very small number of data, but we don't want to count like that. We did something in our previous class that automatically lets us know how many entries are there in the list. What is that name of that particular block? Sorry, index, not index. Index is the position, but which length? Correct. By using the length, so you'll know how many items that are there. You'll give the maximum item. So we're going to use the length. So yes, we have the length, right? So take this and put it here. Of course, we remove this list. What is the length that we want to check? We can either use latitude or longitude, because always latitude and longitude always comes in pair, right? So you can see, remember that you have already extracted the list of values. That means if there are 3 latitudes, there will be 3, right, in the variable latitude list. So the variable that we want to set is the either latitude or longitude. Anything is fine. Is that okay? So now we want to actually get the function to do the marker. So let's click on the map. Map 1, do you see this one, the purple? Map 1, add marker. Add marker. So drag and put it here. So here you can see, this is you're going to call the map 1's function, which is to add marker, but you need to provide 4 items. Of course, definitely you need to have the latitude and longitude, but you can also include the title and also description, and there's also the pin color. You can actually change the color, whatever color that you want. So now we are going to get the latitude and the longitude value from where? No, we have already extracted really what? From the data sources, we already copy it into this list, right? So we want to actually get it from this list. So we can actually use under list, let's see. Yes, we can actually use this block, which is in the list of whatever variable. You can actually use the index number. You can get the position. So you can use this one. Put it here. We remove this. And where we want to get this is from variable. Latitude should be from lat list, right? So in the list, app variable latitude list, you want to get the item number. What should we put here actually? ID, okay, that's one. What else? Okay, let's copy this and put it here. For all, latitude, longitude, title and description. So this one need to change accordingly. This should be the long list. This should be the place list, and this should be the description list. As I mentioned, this whole block is to do iteration, because the add marker can only receive one latitude, one longitude at one time. But we have 3 places that and also the title and description. Can only provide for one latitude, one longitude, one title, one description for one location. But now we have 3. So that's why we have actually put into this loop, right? Conditional loop. So in every list is actually will be getting the number. So what should you change this one with? In this loop, what is constantly changing? Yes, the I, right? Because it's starting I from 1. You'll get the first item, then you'll keep on increasing the next second and third until the length of the variable latitude list. So this one you should replace with I. So let's see, variable, do we have variable I? Yes, we have. variable, so you should put the variable I, and you can duplicate the variable I. So in this case, what happens now? In this loop, this whole loop, when you're actually setting this conditional loop, you are assigning a variable I, which is the loop counter. This is the loop counter, and you are initializing it to 1, and it will keep on increasing by 1. So for the first time it's running the loop, what is the value of I? 1, right? So it will call this function. So get the latitude, which is number 1 in the list. There are 3 items, right, in the list. You'll get the first item in the list. Then you'll get the first item of the longitude. You'll get the first item of the place. You'll get the first item from the description list. And then what it does, it increases the value of I by 1. So now what is the value of I? Becomes 2. So now you'll get the second, and then it'll increase by 1. So now it becomes the third, right? Because it's actually up to the length of the app variable, and it'll get all the third items. Then it increase by 1, 4. It doesn't fulfill this condition anymore, so it will stop this function. So this is the color. You can choose whatever color markers that you want. Are you able to follow this, what we're actually doing? So it does it for all the places that you have placed. So now can you try to view in your map location? By right, you're supposed to see a pin drop on it.